Hi everyone, and welcome tonight to our presentation on the Wandering Educators Youth Travel Blogging Mentorship Program. We're glad to see you here today. If you want to do the chat, just type it in the chat box and we'll try to answer your questions as soon as we can. So I've started the recording, of course, and I wanted to thank our sponsors for the Global Education Conference, our sponsors and supporters, and big thanks to them. And I want to give a big shout out to Brain Pop. Our daughter loves Brain Pop, so thank you. Thank you all to our supporters. And I want to see if I can do this. We're supposed to see if everybody can show where they are on the map. So if you can click that little star button and put where you are, and I have a feeling we're going to have two from Hawaii. Let's see. Yeah, there's one. There they go. You guys are probably going to meet up. All right, and so our slides are loaded, and participants, please keep your chat conversations on topic, and we will try to watch as we can to see you if you have any questions. So I am so happy to share with you about our Youth Travel Blogging Mentorship Program, and there are three of us speaking tonight. My name is Jessie Voights, and my husband Ed Forto is here, and also a student in our program and one of our TAs, and a future faculty member, Austin Y. Miller.
Hi.
Hi, Austin.
Hey, Jessie. How are you tonight?
I'm fine. So Ed's going to talk to you a little bit about our Youth Travel Blogging Mentorship Program.
That's right, and thank you, and I'm glad to be a part of this class. The Youth Travel Blogging Mentorship Program is for teens who have a natural curiosity about the world and a passion for expressing themselves through words, photos, videos, and conversation. And we found that a lot of the kids that have come in here have been very enthusiastic about writing, photography, videos. They've shared things that have gone beyond the classroom. Yes. And it has been just a joy to work with them. And then we also have an ongoing free, the class is ongoing free, actually 4-term online class and mentorship program for students ages 14 to 18. And you can learn more about it by going to bit.ly/teen travel.
And we do have a couple of students that are younger than 14, and if you have a student that you think might be interested in being in our program but they're a little bit younger, just shoot us an email, and the email information is at the end of the presentation. We do have an 11-year-old in the program that's extremely mature, so it all just depends on the student. So we utilize a lot of technology in the class because it is online, and Austin's going to talk about the technology that we use for the class.
Okay. Just coming from a student's perspective, as the students, we're all so well linked with the teachers and each other. It's just a great community and a great vibe. A Facebook group has been started, and we can share articles and silly pictures back and forth. But like this slide says, there's a weekly class every week, a webinar that's recorded and sent out. It's really easy to use, really hands-on, and easy to follow. And really, we are Skyping and emailing and texting and calling with each other almost every day. There's emails pinging back and forth, text flying. It's almost ridiculous. But at the same time, it's fun, and you're with people you trust and like-minded. The Google Plus Hangouts every week are like the cherry on top of the sundae. We talk about everything there. It has nothing to do with class. We're talking about everything from assignments, it depends, to different things we've eaten, the crazy foods we've eaten, to the experiences we've had, to what we're going to do over the week. It's just a fun, safe place to hang out with people that you really enjoy. And yeah, there are Google Plus Hangouts all the time, whether with teachers or with each other in the mentoring groups. Like, for example, I'm mentoring about 5 kids, and we are on Google Plus once a week talking to each other, emailing, asking questions, and staying connected. I think that's what the best part of this program is. Everyone is so well connected, and they're just becoming friends, and they're going to hopefully last a lifetime. They're great. It's really best thing about it. And yeah, you build an online portfolio, and with it, with social media like Facebook and Twitter and Google+, it gets out there and people see it, and you build quite the reputation for yourself online.
I love that, Austin.
Yeah. Well, we really have worked hard to try to create an atmosphere for learning that's also a lot of fun. And you can really pick that up in just Austin's enthusiasm.
Yeah, I can. Ed's going to talk a little bit about working in the global economy, which is one of the main points for why we're doing the class.
Well, as Austin just mentioned, we help the students to build an online portfolio. And nowadays, people don't use the written resumes anymore. Your body of work really can easily be found by employers online. And so it is really important to build a body of work that will help you to move forward in whatever chosen career path that you have. We teach different ways to make a living. That could be writing, it could be through creating videos, building a reputation online for almost any type of occupation in our modern society. We help the students establish themselves as experts in their chosen field. And we help them teach them that the greatest skills are knowledge and flexibility. And teaching in this digital and multimedia society that we're in.
That's true. And this is my favorite part. We help a lot with intercultural learning and ethnorelativism, which is one of my very favorite things about international education. And because our students are all over the world, we're expanding the worldviews of these teens through classes and their peers. And we're teaching about the importance of international experiences, and we're teaching some students, if they don't have it already, to view the world with cultural sensitivity. And we provide opportunities to interact with peers from all over the world. And one of our students said, I can't believe there's other teens doing the exact same thing I'm doing. She's traveling the world for a year. And yeah, so we're finding these teens that are global travelers or maybe just local travelers that love to travel. And we're sharing a peer community and building a peer community with them. So it's a lot of intercultural learning and sharing what the students are doing. And we're also creating global competency in writing and interacting with people from all over the world. So there's a lot of intercultural learning and ethnorelativism going on in this class. So it just happens automatically. And Heather, you have a question. How would students find out about this program? Well, we try to promote as much as we can. We have a big page on our website, wanderingeducators.com, or you can type in bit.ly/teen travel to get to the program. We have written many articles about it and shared it online and promoted it on Help a Reporter Out and promoting it on this Global Education Conference. But we're just trying to get the word out to get more awesome, globally minded teenagers to come and join us and have fun and learn to create and write and be successful in the online marketplace with their own work and their own writing and their own photos. So we're creating global competency. So I hope that this can help us find a few more students. We only accept maybe 15 to 20 each term, so there is competition to get in. But we're glad for people to find us, and sorry about that. We're glad for people to find us and apply to the program. So the application instructions are on that page. So one of the things that I love about this class is that the students collaborate with each other, and they collaborate with people that they meet on their travels. And I think that this kind of collaboration and interaction with people all around the world really helps to create good global citizens. And so, for instance, two of our students are traveling around the world this year, and they are in Cambodia right now. They're brothers. And for a collaboration project, one of the brothers is doing a project with the owner of the villa where they're staying to help promote the villa with tourism. So I think that that's awesome. He's using his skills with video and promotion in the platform of our blog to promote a small business in Cambodia. I think that's awesome. There are other examples of collaboration. One of our students is working on a research project in Madagascar right now, and she wrote an article about conservation in Madagascar, which is really illuminating. Austin wrote an article about elephants in Laos and how you can go and experience giving an elephant a bath there. One of our students took a safari in Tanzania, and one of the favorite things of his article that I read was the interaction that he had between their family and the guide there. And I thought, you know what, it's really important to pay attention to the locals, to have a cultural informant to learn about the culture. And so he was being a good global citizen by interacting with the guides, and I was really impressed. Another student of ours wrote an article about the other side of Dubai, and I think if you're like me, you think of Dubai and you think huge buildings and lots of shopping. And she did too until she went there. And she saw another side of Dubai that I was surprised to find out too. And it kind of gives me chills, because you think these teens really are aware of their environment. She's really a good global citizen in thinking about poverty and what's behind the glitz. And one of my favorite articles was by Austin, and he wrote an article called How to Be Scammed by the Deaf and Dumb in Paris. And yeah, he was scammed twice in Paris this past summer. And it's a hilarious story, but it's also a glimpse into another culture and living there and being a tourist, and it's really quite funny. Austin's a very funny writer. So our students are doing great in creating and being good global citizens.
And we don't want to give the impression that all of our students are all over the world and writing about exotic places or foreign lands. We do have a lot of students that are also in the United States, and they're writing articles about Connecticut, and
Disneyland,
yes, Florida and Disneyland, Ohio and California and New York, and they're all over. And you don't have to travel all over the world to be a part of the course. Your backyard is something that you can talk about.
Yeah, and you know what? If you know you're a great travel writer when you can make people interested in your own backyard, and I think that's a really important skill. You don't have to travel the world, as Ed says, to be a travel writer. The coursework, we have 4 terms of coursework, and we teach a lot. And we have faculty members from all around the world, and they are all experts in their fields. We have professors and authors and photographers and videographers. It's amazing. So we teach travel blogging and essential blog writing skills, like good headlines. We teach the art of the travel review and also seeing the world as a travel writer. You know, when you are a travel writer, you're not on vacation anymore. And so it's important to teach the students to think like a travel writer when they travel and not like a tourist. We have an author that teaches Weird is Writable and the importance of observing things. And we have a faculty member that teaches about the importance of international experiences, and she is so passionate about that. She started with a pen pal when she was in high school, and now she's traveled the world. She's really opened the world to herself, which I love. We talk about social media, of course, and also how to use social media to collaborate with people and create projects. Of course, photography, travel photography, and also how to sell your travel photography. I think that's important. We teach underwater photography, which is a really cool class, and if that doesn't make you want to dive underwater, I don't know what would. We teach videography and podcasting and search engine optimization, 2 levels of that. How to create a popular post and getting eyes on your posts, which is really important online. You can write the best article in the world, but if you don't have a readership and you don't have a way to get people to come and read your articles, then it's not going to be seen by very many people. I'm very excited about one of the classes that we have a faculty member teaching on understanding and managing your online reputation. And I think students often are not aware that everything online is archived and will be there forever. And sometimes a tweet might be rude or cruel or clueless, and that's going to be part of their online persona forever. and they don't really realize that employers will look online and see what you're about. So that's a very important class. I loved a class that we had about building a passion-driven life and thinking about what's important to you and how you can go about living it. And one class that we just had was food for thought and talking about the intersection of food and culture and history and immigration, and it was incredible. So we have a lot of great courses that we talk with the students about and teach them, and their assignments, of course, are incredible. So Austin, I'd love if you could give a student perspective on this class.
Well, as Jesse's been talking about, the courses are phenomenal. You couldn't ask for anything better. All of the teachers or professors, whatever you want to call them, each one is interesting and funny, people you really want to meet in life. They have engaging PowerPoints, just like what we're doing here. And every topic is just something you want to learn about. You want to finish it out and see, oh, okay, this is how I take an epic underwater picture. And through the program, you meet amazing people. You're making connections with the teachers and other friends. Like I talked about earlier, the friendships are just amazing. That's really the best way to describe this whole program as a whole nutshell. And through this course, I've honed in on my talent, which was writing, and I'm now pursuing it. I've learned how to get it out there through Twitter and Facebook, how to get it to be seen. Jessie is amazing at tweeting everyone's articles to make sure they are seen by her friends and her big friends, the ones who will put it in hopefully magazines, and maybe some Eat, Pray, Love movie maker kind of person will come along and make a big time film. Who knows? But
I love that.
From a student perspective, it's great, and I know it isn't just me trying to suck up to Jessie. I've talked with a few of the other students, and we all agree this has been such a great addition to all of our lives, and our lives would probably be really boring without it. And to see that people do think the way we do, and we're not the odd ones out. There are people who are just as curious about the world. They just might not be in your own backyard. Yeah, that's really what I have to say about the program. It's 2 thumbs up from a weird child living on an island in the middle of nowhere.
Austin, I want you to talk a little bit about the first article you got paid for, right? And this is so funny when you were talking about the group that you were with.
Yeah, it was pretty spontaneous. I was traveling. My family and I were in New York, and Jessie shot me an email that said, hey, I have to write an article about the top 10 things to do in Hawaii. Would you do it for me? It's a paid article. And I said, sure, why not? This is pretty cool. I'm going to get paid to do an article about my home state of Hawaii. How fun. Well, what I thought was going to be a simple hour-long project turned into an all-nighter. I spent all night working on word choice and pictures, and it later did really well. I made $40 off of it, which doesn't seem like a lot, but to a 15-year-old who has hardly any money in the bank, score! And to my mom, who's been writing for a few years now, she's never been paid for an article, so she was incredibly jealous and somewhat irked that I could do that. And it was just so much fun to put the article out there and see it go far. It didn't just be read. It wasn't just read by friends and family. It was read by hundreds of people who all really enjoyed it. And as a writer and a teenager, it was so special and boosted my self-confidence to a whole new level that I didn't even think was possible. So those little moments like that have really just made the program that much more exciting and have made me want to come back every single term.
Aw. And you will, because you're the TA.
Of course now, yeah, I have no choice.
So I just want to say about Austin that he came in as an incredible writer, but now he's an extraordinary writer. And it's amazing to see our students grow with what we're teaching. It's awesome. So onward. I'm going to talk about the assignments because I love these teams so much. And I have to tell you, this class is the best thing I've ever done. One of our students, as I told you, wrote about conservation in Madagascar because she's there doing research. Another student wrote about a lab, a professor's lab in Lithuania, and as you can see right here, there are some disembodied heads in the glass case, and it's quite an interesting observational piece about a lab. Fascinating, actually. We have an article by Austin here about do you need international experience, and he makes a very strong case, even to the converted like we are, that travel and international experiences are critical. One of our students wrote about why you should go live in Brazil, but that was a really good headline because he's really talking about filmmaking, because he's a filmmaker. It's so interesting what our students come up with for their assignments. A student of ours in Hong Kong, for one of the food assignments, talked about all the places you can eat if you're a bus driver in Hong Kong. And I just thought that was so fascinating. I didn't know that there were special cafes for bus drivers and that people could go eat there and that the food was so yummy. Another student wrote about one of her teachers and how her first international experience, her international travel experience, ended up with an engagement and led to her choice of teaching career. So she interviewed her teacher for that. Austin wrote about how to give an elephant a bath, which I talked about earlier. But when he went to Laos with his family, there are photos in that article which are incredible, but I could only do a screenshot for part of it. And Austin, do you want to share about the Tanzania one?
I'd love to. This is a good friend of mine. He is in the mentoring group with me, and we've emailed and Facebook back and forth. They're currently in Southeast Asia, still incredibly jealous, but they were just in Tanzania and went on the safari, and he wrote this really long article about his time on safari. And the thing about long articles are nowadays our attention spans are so short. We are impatient, and anything over, 160 characters, we stop reading. I scanned his article, and the pictures that he has are intoxicating. They're of the giraffes and the, what are they? Pumbaa from The Lion King. I mean, it's The Lion King in real life, in front of you. And reading his article, I was living vicariously through it. I was on the Serengeti with him, and incredibly jealous, and it makes me want to drop everything and go straight to Africa. So, great job on his part.
I agree. I love these student articles. You know, whenever they come in, I take time and read them. I'm just so happy to read them. I'm so proud of their development. One of our students wrote about this really cool thing you can do in Basel, Switzerland, which you get these inner tubes and you float down the Rhine River, which I never imagined would be possible in an urban area. Maybe the river might not be clean enough, but all those little dots you see in the picture there are people in inner tubes. It was fascinating. Fascinating glimpse into a summertime culture in Switzerland. Another one of our students is passionate about animals, and she writes about animals as often as she can. And so when we asked for a postcard from assignment, you can believe she wrote her postcard from the San Diego Zoo, where she had just gone and seen pandas, including some new baby pandas. So she was very excited about that. You know what I love about the student articles is their passion comes through in their writing, and it's just a goldmine. One of the most controversial, I don't know if controversial is the word, one of the most trafficked articles that our students have written was Hannah's article on snacking on chicken heads. And she's in Thailand, and in our Hangouts we love to talk about gross food. But she gave 5 helpful hints. If you're in Thailand and you would like to eat a chicken head, this is your go-to article for helpful hints. Chia Wen talked about spending a summer in Tokyo. It has incredible photos to go with it. She's an extraordinary photographer. And as with almost all of these articles, it makes you want to go there. I don't think I want to go to the lab with the disembodied heads. But most of the other student articles I want to go to. And just 2 more articles I'd like to share out of the hundreds that they've sent in. One of the students wrote about travel writers and asked them to share their favorite travel books. That was a really great article and a good use of community sourcing for getting information. And Austin, why don't you share Emily's video article?
This is another really good friend, Emily. She is an amazing filmmaker and actor. I hope she goes far. I know she'll go far. But in celebration of the opening of Skyfall, she made a parody and did a cover of Adele's Skyfall. And she's a beautiful voice, and the video is her story going through Corsica. She's currently living in Italy, and her family went on a small trip to Corsica. And so she uses her location for the better. So you have these interesting shots of cute little French alleys and streets and ocean vistas. And she just did an amazing job, and it would be, if the James Bond makers saw this, they would make it into the next Bond movie. I'm sure of it.
It's true. I keep playing her video over and over again.
Emily really is a talented.
Me too. I can't get enough of it. I love the ending. Just a twist.
There is a twist, so everybody will have to go see it. Definitely. And what's amazing about all of these is I think that we're challenging the students enough in the assignments, and they all say it's not too hard. But I love to see what they come up with. Our teams are globally connected, they are globally competent, and they're gaining the skills to really be powerful writers and chroniclers of international life.
And they're very creative.
Yes.
Very creative.
Yeah. So, Ed, would you like to talk about some educational outcomes?
Sure. Outcomes for the students. And one of the big outcomes that I thought would the students would learn from or gain would be developing relationships with the other students, but they've also developed these relationships with their faculty. And Austin had mentioned on a couple of different articles that the students were good friends. Mm-hmm. And these are people that Austin did not know until the class, but they have connected through G+, and then emailing back and forth with each other, and Facebook. They've become good friends, and they are beginning to collaborate on things. We have some of them have formed their own groups, and they're doing collaborations, international education. They're really changing the way the students view travel, quite frankly. Mm-hmm. They've developed accountability groups so that they get things done. They're involved in other projects like NaNoWriMo and film studies.
Yep, there's a film studies group.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And there's also, as Austin mentioned, there's opportunities for them to make money. You can make a living as a travel writer, and we talk about how you go about doing that. You can also do it as a photographer or in film, and we talk about ways to do that. So if it's your dream, your passion to pursue that, we show you a path to get there. And then also, of course, there are these bonds that last for a lifetime. People that have similar interests, that are in different parts of the world, that are connections that you can tap into to further your career. So a lot of outcomes, and also we're going to share with you here in a second just some of the things that our students and parents have said about the program.
Yeah, and we'll go there. But I also want to talk about, when you're a parent or a teacher, you're trying to get your students or your kids ready to leave the nest and succeed. And that's the whole goal of this program, is that if they choose to be a travel blogger or a travel photographer or a travel videographer, we give them the skills to go and make a living doing it if they're passionate about it. If they don't want to do that for a job or a career or a part-time income source, then at least they have those skills and the flexibility and the knowledge to take that wherever they would like to go. So some of our students have said really fun things, and it makes me smile when I read their wonderful and beautiful comments. And parents also say, thank you so much, we've seen changes, and it's a pretty powerful program. I had no idea when we started it that our lives would be this changed. I had no idea I would make so many friendships and long-lasting relationships with these teens and with other faculty members. It's truly been a gift.
I have to agree with Jesse there. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But it really is a gift. I never thought I could become such close friends with a teacher. And through this program, Jesse and I have just become great friends, and I've become great friends with Ed and all of the other instructors, and it really, Jesse's spot on. It's been a gift, exactly.
Yeah, it's a gift. And it's also, I think I was talking with a student, our student in Madagascar, it's finding your tribe. And
Exactly.
if you live in a rural area, or if you're traveling a lot, you don't really know people that are like you. But here we are, we found our tribe.
Totally.
Totally. So if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them, or we can talk some more about articles or blogging. But here is our main website at wanderingeducators.com, and if you want to go directly to the class link where you can read more about the program and learn how to apply, it's at bit.ly/teen travel. And we have an EduBlog site where we also feature our student articles, and there's my email. And you say, the question is, do the students travel by themselves or every time they take with the educators? The students are all traveling with their families or by themselves. We do not travel with our students. This is an online course. We are located in Michigan, and our students are located all around the world. So we don't travel together yet. I think we need to arrange a writing retreat sometime and get everybody together, because we've known each other for a year now online, and some students have met, I think, in Thailand or China, but all of these students are traveling or are at home and travel as they can, but they are all interested in traveling and writing and taking photos and shooting videos. Emily's incredible at videos, sharing their stories, and that's what I love. I love that these teams have a voice and a way to be heard. Let me see. Do I see that admission is competitive? And we try to limit the number of students to what we can handle and interact with. We had a query about expanding it greatly, and we would definitely have to change the model if we wanted to do that. Students, if they want to apply, they are welcome to apply. And again, the class is free. We do ask that students have excellent writing skills. They should know how to write before they come in. They don't need to know how to take photos yet or video. We teach that. But because it is a writing program, you have to have the basics. And so students can apply with a letter of intent and submit some writing samples. And some of our students are learning more about writing than others. Some come in with a very strong writing background, and some come in with a basic writing background, but a strong sense of hope and potential in them, and they are definitely succeeding. And we do have some fallout. Some students don't have time, or the program wasn't what they thought. Some of them think maybe an article a week is too much for their homework assignment, but we're pretty clear on what we do, right, Austin?
Oh yeah. Through the program, yeah, you see who is really passionate about it. As the term goes on, I started the term, and I think there were 15 of us. There's now only 4 of us left in the 201. And so the ones who are really passionate about the program will go far. And you get out of it what you put into it. So I've put in a lot of time and effort into this, and a lot of really good things have come my way. And I see a question, do you need to be knowledgeable on travel or other cultures beforehand? Not really. I mean, you could know your own backyard and come in, because as we were talking about earlier, knowing your own backyard is great. Like, I've traveled around the world, but I barely know our own country. And so our big thing is exploring the States and seeing what's in our own backyard. What can we do on the cheap that's fun and engaging? And so, yes and no, it depends. You don't need to be that well-traveled, been to 80 billion countries around the world. It'd be impossible too, but yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I think that some of our students are definitely, they have traveled abroad. Some of our students are traveling abroad right now. Some of our students travel abroad in the summer. Some of our students don't travel abroad at all. So I think what they need to be fascinated with is the concept of travel and reflection and sharing what they see and experience. And I think that's the most important thing. They have to have a curiosity about the world.
Exactly. Like, I have another friend in the program, and she writes predominantly about Disney World. And so, okay, Disney World, it's not that wild or abstract. It's not as crazy as exploring the ruins of Cambodia, Angkor in Cambodia, or slums in Mumbai. But she is giving insider tips. She goes multiple times a year. So reading her articles, you get the inside tips on which rides to ride at what time. And so it's a different riding, a different perspective. And through it, Florida's culture is way different than her home state of Connecticut. And so even traveling within your country, you're going to find differences because Hawaii is different from the West Coast, which is different from the far south, which is different from the far north. And then the whole West and East Coast, big difference. Another question. Yeah, it is definitely about traveling, but like I said, it could be any sort of travel, and like Jesse said, it's being curious about the world around you, not being stuck in that little box of, oh, I have to get to school from this time to this time and do homework from this time to this time and only hanging out with friends from this time to this time. It's seeing the bigger picture. My example to that is before I left over the summer, my family and I traveled the whole summer. We'd gone 4 months, and we were in places like New York and Paris, and we were up in the Baltics. We were all over in these fascinating places. And my friends would ask me, Austin, what are your summer plans? And I'd tell them the itinerary that would take us to New York and Latvia and Stockholm, and it took us all over. And then I'd add, oh yeah, we're also doing a week at Disney World and the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Their reactions, you are so lucky your mom is taking you to Disney World. Why can't my parents do that? So it's just getting out and seeing the big picture. And that program, this program, allows, coming into the program, you either have that perspective or you gain it really quickly talking with everyone. So it's a plus basically. Hope that answers your question.
I agree, and you know, I don't want teens to feel that they can't apply to the program if they're interested in travel writing and learning how to be a travel blogger if they don't have the money to travel. We've worked with students from the New York City YMCA that were going on their very first trip, a volunteer trip overseas, and most of these students didn't have money to travel. And I don't want that to be a barrier. I want, if somebody really is interested in being a travel writer and being a travel blogger or a travel photographer, I don't want them to think that the only way to be a travel writer is to travel the world. I want them to learn the skills and be able to share where they are.
Exactly. Jesse's spot on. Travel writing is just so evolving from everything. Like, my favorite thing to write about is my own backyard. I love going out and finding the cheap local restaurants in my hometown, and I love exploring my own backyard. There's so many interesting things, and you'd be surprised by the audience you get towards those articles because they're your own home and you're more passionate about them because you want to share those special little gifts with other people. And so I find the articles about home do better than the others, which I think is interesting. So exactly, it's all, Jesse's totally right. 100%. Yay.
We love you, Austin. And another thing I'm totally surprised by is, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, when the students travel more, then they do appreciate home more. And maybe the familiarity, then they're not dealing with cultural differences and they're in their safe place. And when you're in your safe place, then you can explore a little bit more. So, you know, it's good to be challenged and explore the world and experience differences, but it's also good to look around and observe where you are at home. So I'm very impressed with these students. As I've said, this is the best thing I've ever done. I never dreamed that I would do this, and when we had the brainstorm to do it and it fell into place, I'm thinking, yes, this was my purpose.
Yeah, I just have to say, Jesse and Ed are amazing. They are amazing people. They have an amazing daughter who puts up with them. They work on wandering educators around the clock. They're reading all of our articles, and they're giving us the one-on-one help we need. So they're fantastic. They are in our lives every day and helping us achieve our dreams and goals. So big round of applause for them, and her daughter that puts up with them, because I know if that were my parents, I'd shoot them. So
she's used to travel as a reward, so when she puts up with this, then we can travel and have a reward.
Go over to Scotland.
Exactly. We love Scotland. So does anybody else have any questions, or we can wrap it up and everybody can move on and go to sleep. But I want to thank everybody for listening and participating and asking such great questions. And if you have students that you think would be a good fit for our program, we encourage you to send your students our way. And it's definitely an intercultural program. Students are welcome from all around the world. And we welcome them, and we look forward to getting to know your students. So please send some our way. And yeah, oh, Heather, I think you could have been a good fit for this, I bet. You know, we find so many adults that say, oh, I wish they would have that when I was younger. And I thought, yeah, I wish I had it when I was younger too. But the internet and the world is always evolving, and this is the right place at the right time for these students, and we're so happy to teach them and share these skills with them and watch them fly. They are definitely soaring. So if you, when you leave, if you can give a comment, there will be a pop-up screen, and give a comment and leave some feedback, and we will have a recording for this. And thanks again so much, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, guys. And thanks for staying off.
True. Good night.
Good night, everyone.